Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing our first Jungle Cup tournament and we actually did very good, so make sure you guys watch it all the way to the end because these battles are intense. The Pokemon we decided to bring is going to be Noctowl, Heracross, Lantern, Alolan Raichu, Venomoth, and of course the king of the jungle, Vigoroth. Now before we get started, make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to make sure to stay up to date on all PvP and Silph Arena content. Now on to the video. First we're going to be starting off with the Pokemon that we decided to bring. Number one is going to be Noctowl. He's going to be our flyer. He's going to be able to take out the grass, the bug, the whole 9 yards. He's going to be our main flyer. Mind you, I don't use him very much in this tournament and you'll see why. Next, we're going to be bringing our Vigoroth. Of course, I don't have to explain it. Vigoroth is the king of the jungle. He's great against almost anything that's going to be in this meta, and you have to have him on your team 100%. Next, I'm going to be bringing in Heracross. Heracross is going to be more so of a mental scare for the people bringing in Vigoroth. I brought my Heracross to have on my team to get them to think that what if I brought it in the actual matchup, they're a little bit more hesitant in bringing in Heracross. Next, I'm going to be bringing the MVP of my entire team. It's going to be Venomoth, and not just a regular Venomoth, it is our Legacy Venomoth. He's going to be running Confusion, Poison Fang, and Silver Wind. Now, the reason why he was an MVP is because he was amazing in almost all my matches. He is probably the reason why I did so well, and you're going to see why later on. Next, I'm going to be bringing in Alolan Raichu. Now, Alolan Raichu is also one of my main MVPs, is because he does have that psychic typing, which means he does a lot better against Vigoroth. And of course, he's going to be coming in with Spark, Thunder Punch, and Wild Charge. And last but not least, we brought in our Lantern. Lantern is going to be our second electric type. So as you guys can see here, we have a double fighter, we have a grass poison, we have a flyer, and we're running our double electric. Our Lantern, the reason why we brought in our Lantern is because just in case they were running one of the Rock Boys as their main electric, and I decided to do a little bit of a switch up between Alolan Raichu and Lantern because Lantern could just J-farm those Rock Boys. Now we're gonna get on to some battles and let's see how well we do. We're going to be going into round one, going up against Athie. Now this is an intense match, right? We actually go, you'll see. So we're starting off with our Venomoth. He's going to be starting off with his Alolan Graveler, and we have to get out of there as fast as we can. We're switching. We're to get our Body Slam. He brings in his Noctowl, and we're like, wow, okay, interesting. Because technically right now, counter actually does neutral damage against that Noctowl, plus our Body Slam is just so spammy, all because of that stab damage. So now he's going to try and hit us with a Sky Attack, and here is where we are going to shield. And now the reason why we shield is because we know we can get to another Body Slam, and we're going to be either forcing a shield or we're going to be taking out that Noctowl. So as you saw there, he actually shielded, and then we're like, okay, cool, now we're going to shield, and now we have 0 shields across the board. So now we're going to try to take out that Noctowl, and we accidentally hit that Body Slam. We're like, we should have just finished it with counters, but it's okay, we're cool. And we're like, okay, awesome, he has a Vigoroth, and can we get to this Body Slam? We don't get to that Body Slam, and we're like, okay, this kind of puts us out of a bit of a matchup. But it's okay, you know why? Because we have our Venomoth. Now Venomoth is just going to go in with that Confusion, and he's just going to do as much damage as he can to that Vigoroth. Now that Vigoroth actually ends up pulling off a Bulldoze on us. So now we're going to be using our Poison Fang, and we're going to be finishing off, well, no, we're not going to finish him off. He had that 1 HP, and I think that was the reason why this matchup ended up this way. So we're going to be bringing in our Alolan Raichu, and he's going to be coming back in with his Alolan Graveler. So now he's going to be hitting us with a Rock Blast, and now watch this. This is where we're like, okay, cool, we're going to have to pull off a Wild Charge to try to do as much damage as we can, try to finish off that Graveler, but it was not enough, and we both go down at the exact same time. We're like, wow, I think that was actually the first time I've actually been in that situation. I've seen it before, but never has been done to me. So now we're going to be going with our Alolan Raichu against his regular Raichu. And now this is a pretty equal matchup. I think Alolan Raichu can just take it a little bit better just because he does have that Psychic typing, and we're going to be using a Wild Charge, and we're like, I don't know if he's going to pull off a Wild Charge. He might pull off a Wild Charge. No, his shield baited us. So now we're like, okay, cool, we're going to try to go in again, and we're like, okay, and now he pulls off the Wild Charge. And that is what kind of messed us up in this round. We're like, okay, it's fine. We're gonna pull off a wild charge too. Boom, we get the wild charge, and we're like, okay, this is looking good for us. This is looking good. We weren't able to finish him off, but it's okay because we know we're gonna be able to use Spark, and we're gonna be able to do as much damage as we can, and then we're gonna get to another wild charge. And we're like, you know what? Cool, no problem. We're gonna use a wild charge right now, either Beta Shield, or we're gonna do some decent damage to that Venusaur. So we're like, cool, you know what? Raichu, you did your job, but we have our Venomoth in the back, and he's gonna switch up out of there, and we're like, nah, no problem, no problem. Bring in the Vigoroth. Bring in the Vigoroth. We're like, we're cool with it. We're cool with it. There's no shields. We're okay. So now he's gonna be hitting us with a body slam, and then we're like, okay, cool. We're gunning right now. We're trying to get to that Silver Wind. Do we get to it? We do not. And we're like, oh my god, I think that just lost us the match. So now we're gonna be coming in with our own Vigoroth, and we're gonna be like, okay, he's gonna take a body slam. We're okay here. And then we're like, we're gonna finish him off with a couple counters. We save up all that energy, and we're gonna be hitting whatever's coming in with a body slam, and it is gonna be his Venusaur, and that is gonna be the end of round 2, and the match is actually 1-0 in this matchup. And now we're gonna be going into round 3. Round 3, this is so confusing just because the first one's a tie. So now we're going into round 3. We decided to change things up just a little bit, and we're like, okay, you know what? Here is when we decide to switch it up. We're going to be using in our Noctowl, and we're going to be bringing in our Lantern because we know he has an Alolan Graveler. And we're like, okay, we have 2 counters to that Graveler. We also have our Noctowl for that Venusaur. And now we're like, okay, you know what? He thinks that we're going to be bringing in that Venomoth. We know he thinks we're going to be bringing in that Venomoth. So we're like, okay, cool, no problem. So this is what we decided to go in with. We're like, this is going to be fine. We're okay with that. And now we're like, okay, how else can we play this out? Because we know he has the Graveler, we know he has the Venusaur. So how else can we play this out to be a little bit of a better matchup? We know that we're going to have Vigoroth there. So Vigoroth is going to be able to do pretty much good damage to almost anything that's coming our way. So now we're going to be going in. We're going to be going in with our Vigoroth, and he's going to be coming in with his Venusaur. And we're like, oh my god, he got us on the lead. Because we know that we're going to be able to do decent damage, but Frenzy Plant just hits like a truck, and we're like, okay, that's fine. And we switch up right out of there because we want our Noctowl to be able to eat the Frenzy Plant. We don't want our Vigoroth to have to be forced to use a shield. But we're like, you know what? We knew the Graveler was coming, and we're fine with it. We're fine with it. Because we know we're able to do as much damage as we can, but we know that Venusaur is in the back, and that is going to be a little bit of a problem. We know that because of all that, we're going to be in a little bit of an issue here because we have Lantern that Venusaur counters, and we have Vigoroth that does pretty decent against that Vigoroth. So we're like, okay, cool, no problem, no problem. So what are we going to do? We're going to be J-farming that Graveler. We're like, cool, no problem, no problem. Bring in whatever you got to bring in. We're cool with it. So now he brings in the Venusaur, and we bring in our Vigoroth, and we're like, cool, Body Slam. Let's use that Body Slam because we do not want to get hit with a Frenzy Plant from Venusaur. And now we're like, okay, you know what? We have to shield because we have to kill this Venusaur. We have to beat the Venusaur. And then he switches out, and we're like, dang it, we're switch locked with our Vigoroth. And we're like, okay, you know what, just try to do as much damage as we can. Can we get to another Body Slam before Sky Attack? No, we're not, because he's going to have that Sky Attack ready. And we're like, you know what, that's fine. We're going to have to farm a little bit on this Noctowl, and we were going to use the Thunderbolt, and then he used his Sky Attack and almost ended our Lantern. We're like, okay, great, now we have to use the Thunderbolt. But it doesn't really matter, because we do not have another Thunderbolt ready. We were so close, but it was not enough. We tried to get out of that sticky situation. We almost did it. Maybe like 1 or 2 more water guns, but it didn't pull off. So now we're going into round 4, and we're coming in with our Vigoroth, and he's going to be coming in with his Noctowl. And we're like, cool, no problem. We're going to use Body Slam for days. We're like, that's fine. We're okay with it. And now we're like, okay, do we get it? No, we did not. So again, the shield is still down. We're going to shield that Sky Attack because now we have a little bit of an advantage on that Noctowl. So now we're going to be going in with our Body Slam. Body Slam is going to do some decent damage. We're going to be forcing the shield here. There you go, there's the shield. And now we're like, okay, you know what are we going to do here? How are we going to pull this off? We're going to double shield that Vigoroth. Yes, I know it's risky. It's risky. But again, we're like, that's cool. We're cool with it. But now we're going to switch lock that Venusaur. We're like, cool, that was way too quick. We know it's going to be a Frenzy Plant. He should have waited for Sludge Bomb. But we're like, that's fine. We're cool with it. We're cool with it. Use another Frenzy Plant. Come on, Ath, use another Frenzy Plant. And then we're like, yeah, that's fine. And now we know we have a Silver Wind ready. and he's gonna be bringing in that Graveler, and we're like, okay, it's a good thing that he does decent damage, and we're like, how did we not pull off that Poison Fang? We're like, are you kidding? We're like, okay, that's fine, right? Remember, we do have our Vigoroth in the back, and we're like, okay, counter, and we're like, oh my gosh, how did we not get this? So we're like, that's fine, because now we know he has his Graveler, and he has a Noctowl in the back. So now we're just gonna get a bunch of energy off killing off that Graveler, and here comes the Noctowl, and here comes the Wild Charge. Now the Wild Charge was a little bit overkill, just because he was almost dead anyway. We could have just went Thunder Punch, but it's okay. We had that win anyway, no matter what. And now we're gonna be going into round 2, match 1, and we're gonna start off with our Heracross. Now this guy, his Professor X, had a very weird team. If you can see down in the corner, it's a crazy team. So we got him in the lead, and now we're like, you know what? We're gonna switch out of here because we have Heracross. He was the only guy who got me to run double fighting in my lineup, and you're gonna see why. He had his Graveler, and we're like, you know what? We're gonna J-farm that Graveler, and we have a Thunderbolt ready to go. Bolt Shield's still up, and he's down 1 mon, and now he has his Heracross, and we're like, cool, Thunderbolt, force that shield, and we're like, yeah, that's fine. Lantern, you did your job. You took out the Graveler, you did your job, and now we're like, okay, now we gotta bring back our Heracross, and we have to go straight for the Mega Horn. I think he probably went for an Earthquake, but we're like, okay, that's interesting. And we're like, all right, we're gonna shield it because we don't want to get hit by this. Yeah, as I was right, it was an Earthquake, and now we're gonna be going in with our counters, and we're gonna be gunning to another Mega Horn, and we get to it. We get to it right before our Heracross actually goes down, and we use that Mega Horn, and we finish off that Heracross. And now he's gonna take down our Heracross, and guess who we have in the back with the shield? It is gonna be our own Vigoroth. And we're like, you know what? We're shielding this. We don't care what it is. It's a Wild Charge, and we're like, okay, Body Slam. And Body Slam is gonna be able to take him out just because he had no more shields. That is going to be the end of round 2, match 1, and now we're going to be going into match 2. We're going to be starting off with our Vigoroth. He's going to be starting off with this Heracross. Now he has a little bit of a lead on us. We're like, okay, this is a little bad for us. But we're like, you know what? We're not going to give switch advantage right now. We're going to go straight for the Body Slam. And now we're like, okay, now we're depending, we're thinking, we're like, okay, you know what? We're trying to get to another Body Slam, just didn't work out for us. And we're like, okay, this is a little bit problematic for us. And he has a bunch of energy, so we're like, okay, you know what? Lantern. Come on in, Lantern. We're shielding this because we think it's gonna be an Earthquake, and we're like, okay, no, that wasn't an Earthquake. That was close combat. We're like, okay, oh nuts, is this another Earthquake? No, close combat. We're like, are you kidding? Okay, that's fine. But now we know he has no more energy, and we're able to just farm that Heracross. And now we're waiting to see what he's gonna bring in, and whatever's coming in is gonna get hit with a Thunderbolt. We should have waited a little bit, but again, there goes his last shield, and you know what? We switch out of there because we know we have our Heracross in the back, and Heracross is just going to do so much damage to that Dunsparce, and he brought in his Alolan Graveler, and we're like, okay, cool, counter, and then we're going to be bringing in back his Dunsparce, and we're trying to get to that Mega Horn, but it wasn't enough, but we had our Lantern, and he just finished him off with a couple Water Guns. And that is going to be the end of match 2. Now we're going into match 3 against Garnet. Garnet is actually one of my really good friends from actually the PvP tournaments in my local area. We're going to be starting off with our Venomoth, and he's going to be coming in with his Vespiquen. And now we're like, you know what? Silverwind. Let's try to get the Silverwind off. Do we get it off? We're like, yes, we do. We're trying to get that. We're hoping for the buff, but we're like, it's okay. And now we're going to be shielding because we know that Power Gem would basically just one-shot us. So now we're going in with the Poison Fang, either going to be forcing a shield. Yep, nope, no shields were down. And we're like, cool. Venomoth took down 1, but we're down a shield. He still has 2 shields. And we're waiting to see what's going to come in. It's going to be coming in with his Lantern. And we're like, you know what? As you can see, we're having a little bit of issues with the switch screen. Every time I tried to switch, it made me go back and then switch it again. It just let him farm a little bit more, and that was all the difference in these type of matchups. And we're like, okay, now we have a little bit of an issue. He's gonna get to his Body Slam before us, but he doesn't. We get to another Body Slam. We're like, okay, perfect. Now we got him down to the red, and we're like, cool. He has a lot of energy right now. So we're like, okay, what are we gonna do here? How are we gonna pull this off? We're gonna have to try to bring in our Lantern to be able to eat these Body Slams. So now Lantern's gonna go in. Will he get to another one? Will he get to another one? He will get to another one. And we're like, okay, you know what? We're not shielding. We're not shielding anything right now because we're gonna be able to take out that Vigoroth, and we're gonna try to see where it's coming in. It's gonna be his own Vigoroth, and we're gonna pull off a Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is going to force that last shield, and we're like, cool, no problem. Lantern, you did your job. So now we're coming back in with our our Venomoth. And then we're going to use Silver Wind and then a couple confusions, and that is going to be the end of that Lantern. Now we're going to be going into match 2, and we're going to be starting off with our Venomoth, and he's going to be using his Vigoroth. And we're like, cool, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Confusion. I love Venomoth. I can't stress it enough. If you have a Legacy Venomoth, make sure to use it on your team because he does so well against the majority of this meta. We're going to be using Silver Wind, forcing that shield, and then forcing his switch. And now he's going to switch out of there, and we're going to see, as you see here, we tried to do it twice. We had to do it twice to be able to get that switch, and now we're like, yeah, cool, no problem. We're not going to switch here, and he goes with Stone Edge. I was like, wow, I did not see that coming. That was great, but it's okay. We have our Lantern, we have a bunch of energy, and we're going to be hitting his Lantern with a Thunderbolt, and we're going to be, he's not shielding. We're like, cool, no problem. Water Gun, we did some decent damage to that Lantern. We're like, okay, cool, no problem. Now we have our Vigoroth. We're like, Vigoroth, go in now. And we're like, you know what, we're going to shield, because we don't want to get hit by this Thunderbolt. It's going to do some neutral damage, but now we're going to get to another Body Slam, and we're going to try to finish off that Lantern. Do we get it? Yes, we do. We take him out. He has one last shield, and he has a Vigoroth in the back as well, but we also had extra energy, and that's going to be able to do as much damage. We switch out of there because we knew we didn't want him to get enough energy to pull off another Body Slam, and we knew we had energy in our Venomoth, and that's going to be the Poison Fang. He's going to be able to pull off his Body Slam on our Venomoth, and then once our Vigoroth comes back in, one last counter, and that is going to be the end of the last 2 Pokemon on his team, and that is going to be the end of round 3. Now we're going to be going up against our close buddy, and we're going to be running in with our Venomoth against his Alolan Raichu, and we're like, okay, cool, Silver Wind. We have to Silver Wind this. Okay, we're now in a situation where, okay, do we shield here? Yes, we're going to have to shield here because we're going to pull off our Silver Wind. Silver Wind is going to do some decent damage, and it's going to force that shield on that Alolan Raichu. And we're like, okay, you know what? What are we going to do here? We're going to take it, and we took it. And we're like, okay. We hit it with the Wild Charge. We were thinking it was going to be a Thunder Punch. We're like, okay, that's fine. We're going to try to get to this Body Slam, and we were not able to get to it. And we're like, okay, how is this going to... He pulls up another Wild Charge, and we're thinking that it's going to be a Thunder Punch, and he keeps hitting us with Wild Charge. We're like, oh my goodness. So we're like... He let his Raichu go down, and we're like, cool. Now he has his Vigoroth that's going to finish our Vigoroth. And we're going to be using our Alolan Raichu to try to take down this Vigoroth. We use our Thunder Punch, hopefully forcing a shield here, or we're going to be doing some decent damage. Now he's going to be hitting us with a Body Slam, and now we're going to have to force ourselves to shield. We're going to have to get to this Thunder Punch, but no, he has another Body Slam ready to go. And we're like, okay, cool. Now, are we going to get to this Thunder Punch? Are we going to get to this Thunder Punch? He switches, and we're like, okay, cool, Wild Charge. What a smart play from this guy. We're able to take him down. We're like, can we get to a Thunder Punch? No. No, our Alolan Raichu goes down, and now we're going to be going into match 2 in the finals. And we're like, okay, cool. Vigoroth against Alolan Raichu. We're like, okay, we really got to be careful of that Wild Charge. We really have to be careful because that Wild Charge is going to do a whole lot of damage to our Vigoroth. And we're like, okay, cool. One shield down. One shield down. We're like, okay, you know what? He didn't have enough energy for a Wild Charge. There was no way, so we don't shield there. And now we're like, okay, we're going to shield here because even if it wasn't a Thunder Punch, which it is, it would have been able to take down our Vigoroth. So now we're going to go in and use another Body Slam, and we're going to do some decent damage to that Raichu. And we're like, are we able to take it down? We were able to take it down, and now we're gunning to get to another Body Slam because we knew he had a Vigoroth in the back. And now we're going to be forcing that shield, and he's down a shield now, and we have one shield remaining, and we have our Venomoth in the back. And we're like, okay, cool, Venomoth, go to work now. And we're like, okay, are we going to be able to do this? Are we going to be able to finish this guy off? And we're like, oh, okay, we're going to switch out of here because we have the Noctowl there. And we're like, okay, this is a little bit of a problem for us, but it's okay because we do have a little bit of a lead on him. So now we're trying to get a little bit more energy, and now we're going to go straight for the Wild Charge. We're going to try to finish off that Noctowl, which is because with shields down, he is going to be a goner. And now we're like, oh, we were trying to get that Thunder Punch and it just would not go off. And we're like, okay, that's fine because we have our Venomoth in the back and he has no shields, and we're going to Silver Wind him, and we get the boost right at the end. And now that's going to lead to the final matchup as 1-1, and here is going to be the finals. Will we take it? Let's find out. And we're going to be leading in with our Alolan Raichu against his Noctowl, and we're like, cool. but he got us on the switch because as we were trying to pull off the Thunder Punch, he switched out of there, which is very smart play. I'm telling you guys, he's a very pro player. But now we switch up out of there and we bring in our own Venomoth, and now he's gonna be using a Sludge Bomb, so we're gonna shield. We knew how many Vine Whips he used, and we're like, cool, done. Let's finish off that Frenzy Plant Venusaur without having to use a shield. And we're like, cool, that's fine, because now we have a Silver Wind ready. Now we're like, cool, whatever's coming out, we're gonna be hitting it with the Poison Fang. We're like, cool, no problem, no problem. So now we are switch locked. We have to do as much damage as we can to that Noctowl, because we know that once he pulls off a Sky Attack, it's all over for us. So we're like, okay, we're not going to shield here. We're going to let our Venomoth go down, and we're going to be bringing in our Raichu. And we're like, cool, he's going to switch out of there. And we're like, cool, Wild Charge. Let's try to do as much damage as we can, or force that shield. There we go, we force the shield, and now we switch out of there. We're going to be using our own Vigoroth. And we're like, hey, we have to shield here. We have to shield. So we're like, cool, do a couple more counts, get to this next Body Slam, we pull off the Body Slam, and we're like, okay, at this point, heart is racing, guys. Heart is racing. We're like, okay, we have to get this Vigoroth down. Are we gonna be able to get to another Body Slam? We're like, okay, get to it. Can we get to it? No, we cannot get to it. And then we bring in our Raichu, and we're like, okay, cool, we're lagging. We're lagging. We're like, what is happening here? And he gets to another Body Slam. I was like, what? But again, guys, based on the amount of energy he had, it didn't matter because he also had another Mon, and it wouldn't have mattered. We would not have gone to that Thunder Punch. So good job to you, Manaholics. Great matches. Thank you guys. Thank you to the organizers at UTFC for setting up the tournament. It was great, especially because it was so early. All the thoughts were still up in the air. Really hope you guys appreciated the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.